Hello and welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to be vibe coding with Claude Sonnet 4.5, and specifically, I'm going to be giving it a critical task to really put it to the test. Now, I'm sure that you have all seen this this benchmark and the benchmarks comparing it to different models. And Anthropic is saying that Claude 4.5 Sonnet is now the best coding model on the market. Some people disagree with this as they've tried it out. I've been using it for the past several days now since it launched, and I am actually a big fan of the model. But I'll talk more about that. But to get started, I really want to dive into a serious production code task for Claude Sonnet 4.5. And that task is this. So for those of you that watch my channel, you know that I have a series where I'm vibe coding an app until I make $1 million. And on this series, we're building ViewCreator, which is an AI platform for businesses and creators where you're able to create viral social media content using AI. So what we need to do now is, now that we've deployed our infrastructure to AWS, we have both dev and production environments, but we're not quite ready for users to actually sign up yet. Now, when you do this, you need to be thinking about a couple things, and one of those things is feature flags. So with feature flags, what you need to know is you need to make sure that with the feature flags that you have, that you're protecting your dev environment from people that can find your dev API and then sign up and then hammer your API. Let's say they use the Stripe key, which is a development key, to get credits, and then they just use your FAL key, or they use these other endpoints that rack up a huge bill. So we need to make sure that we actually protect our development and our production servers at the API level until we're actually ready for mainstream launch. So as you guys know, we have a group of beta testers that are going to be testing ViewCreator here soon. So what I'm trying to accomplish, and what the task is going to be for this video, is we need to build essentially feature flags in our API that allow specific emails to actually sign up and sign in for the application on the API level. So on the user interface level, you can put feature flags that make it so that, for example, the sign up form doesn't show up or whatever. But the thing is if people figure out where your API is at, they can just use Postman or something like that, or scripts, to be able to make requests to your API server, get an account, and then hammer your API. So what we need Claude to do is, we're going to give Claude 4.5 Sonnet a prompt here. And that prompt is going to be essentially, hey, we need to create feature flags that either allow specific emails to sign up, or just disallow all signups and sign-ins. So I'm going to let Claude do the thinking on this, but let's prompt it using WhisperFlow, and I'm going to stream everything that I want to do into Claude 4.5 Sonnet, and we're going to give it one really good test, and let's put it to the test. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to drop in the API so that it knows, hey, this is the product and the project that I want to work on. Take a look at the ViewCreator API. Specifically, I need you to take a look at the sign up and the sign in routes, and think deeply about the following logic. We now need to create essentially feature flags that either completely disallow or allow people to sign up. So for example, there should be a feature flag called allow all signups. And if this feature flag is set to true, it should allow any user with any email to sign up. If it's set to false, then it should look at another environment variable, which should be allowed emails. And this environment variable will hold a string of comma-separated emails of the emails that are actually allowed to sign up and sign in for the application. Think deeply about the best practices here. Do not look at my .env, but actually update the sign up and the sign in routes and their logic to integrate this new environment variables, so that my API is protected from malicious signups and sign-ins, and so that I have more control over who is actually allowed to sign up and sign in. Okay, so our prompt is essentially, we're going to do allow all signups and then allowed emails. And here's the prompt, and let's just send it off. Right now it's 7:18. And one thing about Claude 4.5 Sonnet that I've already noticed is that this model is very, very fast. So you can see here that it only thought for 4 seconds. And let's just break this down. Hey, what did it do? So it said, hey, create a feature flag called allow all signups that, if true, allows any user with any email to sign up, and if false, checks another environment variable, allowed emails, which is going to be a comma separated list to determine who can sign up. So that's exactly what I wanted to do. So the nice thing is that it only thought for 4 seconds. And with some of the other models, for example, like if you're using GPT-5 Codex, which is a great model, but it does take a while to think. And you have to weigh the cost benefit of, hey, should I use a model that's going to take 5 minutes to build this feature, or should I use a model that's going to take like 3 minutes to build this feature? And if you're working in, a 4 or 5 hour period like we typically do, it's like, hey, that's going to add up. So here it looks like it grepped this here. So it's checking out the user service. It thought for another 15 seconds. So it's going to create a environment variable. So here's the feature flag config file. So in our common config feature flag, so it's creating a feature flags config file, which is actually really good. So instead of essentially hard coding this inside of the actual service, for example, it's going to create a config file where that's going to be set. So anytime that we need to update this logic, we'll be able to do that. So that's pretty good. That's smart. So it says now implement the feature flag system to control signups and sign-ins based on an email allow list. And on the side here, I'm actually going to pull up on my other monitor. I'm going to pull up the env so that we can update this as it goes in. And what actually is it creating? So feature flag config, it's going to have a environment variable allow all signups. So that's the first one. And essentially it's going to be checking this environment variable. And if that's true, it's going to allow all signups. But if it's false, then it's going to check another environment variable called allowed emails. So let's do that. I just set this, and I'm actually going to set in my environment variables on the side here, I'm going to set it to false. And then I'm going to set allowed emails. I'm going to set this to, let's set this to just my normal email here. Let's go. Okay, so here's what I just set in my environment variables. I can't show you guys my environment variables yet, but I can show you essentially this part. So I just set this in my environment variables, and now it's checking to make sure, it's just double checking some things. But now let's go over here, and let's go to our local host, and I'm going to access my dashboard real quick, and I'm actually just going to sign out of my account so that we can sign back in. And here it's creating an MD file, which is great. So it's updating that documentation, which is really nice so that we can refer to that later. But let's give this a shot. Let's see if it was able to one-shot it. So allowed emails. So let's do a little quick sign up here. So since allow all signups is false, let's say that I put in bridgemind apps plus 1, or let's just do random email here, bunch of pluses. So if this works, this should essentially reject. It should reject this sign up. Let's see here. So it said sign up failed, try a different email. So one thing that let's actually improve, so that did work obviously, so that's great. Let's double check that the API is actually running. So let's integrate logic that essentially says, can you assist me in updating this so that it has better user feedback? So for example, right now it just says sign up failed, try a different email. Actually, you know what? Let's not do that. Let's just focus on, let's see if this gets to work. So let's now do plus 5,000 and see was Claude 4.5 Sonnet, was it able to one-shot this feature? And if this works, then that means yes. And it looks like it failed again. So let's see here what actually happened. So it says sign up blocked, email not in allowed list. So we did get that. Oh, I need to restart the API is what I need to do, because in Nest, if you are in dev mode, it doesn't actually actively refresh the allowed emails. So let's see if that works now. Failed again. Am I entering this right? Bridgemind apps plus 5,000 at gmail.com. Bridgemind apps plus 5. Oh, 500. All right, let's see if this works. Let's go. It worked. Okay, so that was user error on my part. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty impressive there. Let's actually launch now. I'm gonna launch, let's launch and see if, just make sure that, hey, everything went flawlessly, that I actually received the verification email. And here's the verification email. So let's now copy and paste this over, and let's submit that, see if that works. So yeah, I mean, it looks like sign up is working flawlessly. Let's just go through the rest of the sign up process here with the test card and do start free trial and submit that, and looks like it worked. Let's do the survey real quick, just make sure that we can actually access the account. Boom, 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 complete survey. And we're now into our account, and it did everything. That's perfect, guys. So Claude 4.5 Sonnet was able to easily one-shot exactly what I wanted it to do. And something that I'll say that I've personally noticed about Claude 4.5 Sonnet is it's incredibly fast and it is intelligent. And some people are hating on it, but the thing is that this actually reminds me of the difference between when OpenAI, when they launched their GPT 4.0, and then I think it was Claude relaunched, they relaunched like Claude 3 Sonnet, or maybe it was like the initial Claude 3.5 Sonnet. And this was one of the first Claude models that was essentially better than GPT. And the reason that it was better than GPT is exactly for this reason, is that for whatever reason, whatever they're doing over at Anthropic, it is actually a very fast model, and it's a very intelligent model. So that's my thoughts. You know, I just wanted to put it to a quick test, and just to recap, I mean, it did one shot exactly what we needed it to do. You know, we gave it a perfect prompt, we streamed our consciousness, and Claude 4.5 was able to easily one-shot a very, very important feature in our website. So with that being said, I want to keep this video short and compact so that it's digestible for you all. If you haven't already liked and subscribed, make sure you do so for more content like this, and I will see you guys tomorrow for day 41 of Vibe Coding an App until I make $1 million. See you guys.